I sent you an email today to remind you about this session. So you also have my email address, and you can contact me whenever you want after the presentation if you have questions. Okay. So. I'm sorry, I will ask you just a few seconds. Okay, I'm very sorry. Okay, I had lost the presentation. Okay, we're back. What is Institut Polytechnique de Paris? First of all, I want to introduce you to this institute, which is fairly new actually, because it was decided a few years ago by the French government that was in place at that time to gather 5 prestigious French engineering schools in order to create a public higher education and research institute. This institute would benefit from the expertise of its founding school. So the name itself is rather new, and the institute was officially created in 2019, so fairly recently. However, the founding schools behind are not new at all. They are quite old actually, and they have in France, they are quite prestigious and very known among engineering schools and engineering in general. Most of these engineering schools are pretty old and have contributed to major industrial and technological breakthroughs over the years. École Polytechnique, for instance, maybe you've heard about that name rather than Institut Polytechnique de Paris, was created in 1794 and is still today one of the 7 military institutions in France. ENSTA, for instance, is the oldest one, which was created in 1741. And Telecom Paris was created in 1878. And the other school, ENSAE and Telecom Sud Paris, are more recent. Under this name of Institut Polytechnique de Paris, that we call as well IP Paris, so I might refer to IP Paris as well during that presentation. Under this name, schools bring together 2 centuries of expertise to pursue 2 major goals, which are first, the development of world-class training programs and cutting-edge research as well. And together, all these schools have decided to create one examination, which is valid for the 5 schools, allowing international students. And when I say international students, I want to mention students that are studying in a foreign country, that are studying outside of France. You could be, for instance, French, or you could have a dual nationality and a French nationality. In that case, you can as well take that examination. This will not work for every schools, but for some of them, it can be accepted. So what we call by international students are students studying in a foreign university outside of France. So we give you this opportunity to apply in one exam to the 5 schools and to get the chance to be admitted in one of the schools. Institut Polytechnique de Paris is recognized as a reference institution at the international level today, showing actually very good rankings in world-renowned rankings as QS, for instance, or it's Times Higher Education rankings, as well as Shanghai Global Ranking. If actually you want to know more about these rankings, here there's only a few that are mentioned, but there's a full page on the Institut Polytechnique de Paris website. There's a full page regarding rankings. So you can have a look at that and see specifically what rankings we got very recently for 2020 and 23. The employability of students who graduate from IP Paris is pretty high, as you can see, with 95% employability rate 4 months only after graduation. And as well, as you can see again on the slide, as well as an average gross salary, which is, I can tell you, very high for students after they graduate from one of the schools of Institut Polytechnique de Paris. The Institute develops multidisciplinary education and research programs, drawing on a community of more than 1,000 faculty members. Among them, 40% are international. And these faculty members work in 10 disciplinary departments that we will see just afterwards. The Institute in itself gathers about 8,200 students, which might not seem very big for some of you, especially if you are currently studying in a huge university. But you have to understand that engineering schools in France are not universities. We do not have many faculties in every domains. There are universities in France as well, but when we talk about engineering schools, each schools focus on one specific area, domain, and we are much smaller, but that enables us to have a very good ratio, teacher and number of students, so to be able to really follow closely our students. And usually international students really appreciate that, especially when they are not used to that, to be in a quite small environment compared to what they used to know before. So they really tend to appreciate that because they manage to meet each other more easily and to integrate more easily and to make friends in a better ways than being a huge university and community. With all the schools together, we're able to offer a wide range of educational programs to meet your needs as students, but to meet as well professional needs. And the table that you can see here allows you to see, according to your current studies area, what school would be the most appropriate for you. And you can find, I will just leave you a few seconds to have a look at this table, but note that you will find it as well on our website. And just after the presentation, I will share my screen showing you the website exactly, so that you know where to find the important information. When coming to research, the schools gather 30 laboratories working in a world-class scientific environment, which are able to work more effectively and easily with the creation of the institute, especially since we moved on the same campus, which was not the case about 5 years ago. The last school who joined the campus was Telecom Paris. We were located before in the center of Paris, and it was decided that we all moved to the same area in order to facilitate the work of researchers, of teachers, and the mobility of students going from one school to another. So all of this has been facilitated and made more easily with the gathering physically of all the schools together in one place. This allows our researchers to publish around 3,700 publications per year, consequently placing us among the top 8 innovation cluster in the world. This can actually be interesting for you if you aim at a research career. Students with such goals can start working closely with some of the labs and with the teacher researchers as early as actually as the second year of the engineering program for some of the projects that they will need to do during their studies. For some maybe of the study tracks that they will choose, because some schools will allow students to, at some point, choose a study track where they can focus fairly early, at an early stage, they can focus to research. Or also that makes easier finding an internship also for students who would like to do internships in laboratories and who aim at a research career and maybe at doing a PhD after they graduate. Today, we have in total about 1,000 high potential doctoral students in cross-disciplinary research. And of course, since research needs to serve the industry, we work closely with many companies and industries. Knowledge transfer to the economy and society is one of our main objectives. And we have very effective and well-known incubators and a dynamic ecosystem which help fostering innovation and inventiveness through the creation of many startups and companies by entrepreneurs, students. Okay, so now let's focus more specifically on the Diplôme d'ingénieur, which is our engineering program, which also can be translated in English as Master of Science in Engineering. As you can see, Institut Polytechnique de Paris provides many different educational programs. A bachelor, some engineering programs in all the schools, some masters as well, some PhDs, and as well some postgraduate masters or education, like executive masters, executive education. In France, the engineering program, what we call Diplôme d'ingénieur, is probably the most prestigious one when speaking of science and engineering. Master is something more new to people, whether the engineering curriculum is really well established and very prestigious in France. It has the exact same level as a master degree, so no problem after that. But we will come back to that after. The features of this French engineering program is that first, it grants the title of Titre d'Ingénieur program, which is equivalent to a Master of Science in Engineering, and that confers the European degree of Master recognized worldwide. So you do not have to worry about that, of having a degree that might not be recognized in your country. It's written on the diploma that the level is a master level, and it is now fairly recognized worldwide. So there's absolutely no problem with that. This program is a 3-year program. However, some students can have the possibility to enter directly in the 2nd year of the program, but we will see that on the second slide, on the next slide. Let's be honest, the admission is highly selective. And this is a program that confers a high-level education and a multidisciplinary education, which is probably the most important particularity of this program, and that makes it so special and so French in a way. An engineering program is different from a master program, actually, essentially in that it provides a multidisciplinary education in, of course, fundamental sciences, mathematics, physics, chemistry, in engineering sciences, of course, in economics as well, but as well in business, management, innovation. In humanities, for instance, you will see you will have some courses in sustainable development, in corporate social responsibility, in ethics. You will get as well some internationalization skills by studying, and this is mandatory, foreign languages, cross-cultural management, geopolitics, and it will bring you a very good knowledge as well in soft skills, which for us is very important to really train well the future managers and leaders that graduates become afterwards. Soft skills like communication, critical thinking, global perspectives. In this specific program, this is mandatory to do an internship of 6 months. And the program gives actually students rich opportunities of internship, either in companies or in labs. And of course, this easy access to research labs associated with doctoral schools allow some opportunities to continue with a PhD after graduation. So here you see, so that it can be easier to understand how the French higher education system works. You have how it works in university, whether it is in your own country or in France as well, and the particularity of an engineering school. When you graduate from high school, after an exam that we call in France baccalaureate, you do 3 years of university before you can reach a bachelor, and then you have 2 years additionally to reach a master degree, And then you can do, if you want to, a PhD of 3 years. An engineering program, usually our students in France do what we call have some preparatory classes during 2 years, which are very hard and demanding for students, but they are supposed to prepare them for international competitive entrance exam to enter engineering schools. So we have that kind of profile of students in our schools. However, we also receive students who had a bachelor degree just before and who are, for instance, in this last year of their bachelor, then they can go to this entrance exam and get admitted in an engineering school directly in the first year of an engineering program. So we have all that kind of profiles. That's why when we admit international students, we make sure that either they have already a bachelor degree, or that they are maybe when applying in the last year of their bachelor degree, and at least having completed 2 years of undergraduate studies in higher education after high school. So an engineering program is done in 3 years, but there's one more additional year to get, if you are admitted at École Polytechnique, to get the degree of École Polytechnique. So you reach the exact same level after 3 years of the engineering program than doing a master degree at the university. So the general requirements that we ask is that applicants have completed at least 2 years of undergraduate studies in sciences, engineering, or quantitative economics and finance. So this is a minimum 2 years, and most of the time we admit students with more years than that. So it really depends, but the 2 years are the minimum, and according to the level that you will have when you apply, and when you and if you are admitted when you start your studies in France, you might be admitted to go directly in the second year of the engineering program. So this is and most of our international students actually go directly in the second year of the program. So they do 2 years in France before they graduate. It is, of course, very important to have an excellent background in mathematics, physics, and engineering sciences, a very good ranking as well. So this is what we check: your GPAs, the grades that you got, and your rankings as well. It is important to have either a French or an English proficiency, or both. You do not have necessarily to be proficient in both languages. It will depend on which school you are admitted to, or which school you want to be admitted. Some of them have only French programs, courses taught in French, but there are other schools that provides options in English as well. That doesn't mean that you will have all the options available in English. That might be only a few of them. So of course, if you are only proficient in English, your choice can be a little bit more reduced afterwards when you want to select the option you want to specialize in. But still, at the time of the application, you do not need to provide us with language certificates. that will come after. And if really you do not speak French, you might have the possibility to do some tracks and a program in English. The schools that provide some English curriculum are École Polytechnique, Télécom Paris, and Télécom Sud Paris as well. ENSTA and ENSAI have only French tracks and a French program. So you need to be proficient in French if you really want to enter one of these two schools. We ask as well students to have global awareness. And what I mean by that is to be curious, to be open-minded, and to be open to the French culture, but as well to other cultures. So this is quite important for us as well. École Polytechnique and Télécom Sud Paris have as well some special legal requirements that are really specific to these schools. These requirements are mentioned on our website, so I will show you the link to see them. So in case you really want to target in one of those schools, it's better to go and see the requirements of these schools before. About the program itself and how it will work. Today, the application platform is open. It is open since April, and the application will stop on September 7th. So you have until that date to apply. The application implies that you need to go on a specific platform and to submit some documents that are required. Then in September, all the schools will have a look at your documents and will mention if all of them, if they declare you eligible or not to pursue. Then from October 10th until October 25th, we will notify you if you are eligible. And at that stage, after that, if you are eligible by at least one, maybe all of them, but at least one of the schools, you will be asked to go through oral examinations. We do not do any written examinations, only oral exams. That will happen in one certified center. So you can't do that from your home. You will have to move to a specific center. That is most of the time, for example, a French institute or a French embassy as well. And you will have a remote oral examination. And I will show you what these examinations consist of afterwards. Then the schools will gather and will their final acceptance on November 22nd, or at least from November 22nd, because the final juries will be November 21st. Just before that, you will have to select your school preferences. So you will have to declare which school you prefer on your first choice, then your second choice, third choice, fourth choice, fifth choice. Then, according to the school that will admit you, you will receive the final acceptance from one school. So if all the schools admit you, you will never know that. You will only know that your first choice, or maybe your second choice, have accepted you. After this admission declaration, you will receive an admission letter, and the date might differ according to the school where you have been admitted. The term itself begins in September 2024, and not next September. So we admit students almost 1 year in advance. Why we do that? For two reasons. The main one is that it allows us to present the best students to one very prestigious scholarship, which is called the FL scholarship, which is, and the deadline of this scholarship is usually in January, the year before students are arriving. So we need to admit students before that in order to be able to present the best of them to this scholarship. And then it actually also gives you about a year to improve your language skills. For instance, if you already have a good level or a level in French and that you really want to follow a French track, a French program, that way you have 1 year to really work on your French to be able to reach a certain level that are required by the school who have admitted you. The usual required level is either a top B1 level or a B2 level. Usually the B2 level is the one recommended by all schools and even all universities. But some schools are willing to accept a very top B1 level, but not lower than that. So if you really start from French, for example, from scratch, it might be difficult, if not impossible, to reach a B2 level or a top B1 level in 1 year. However, if you already have a small level, that might be possible. So that gives you some time to do that as well. The oral examinations that I was mentioning before will be done on the same day. So you don't have to move to the center several times. There are 4 examinations. One will be in mathematics, one will be in physics. Then you will have a general scientific knowledge examination, which is most of the time you will have to comment an article on science about general science knowledge. And you will have as well a motivation interview. The physics oral examination will not be considered by ENSA school. There are some syllabus and examples on our website of written exams. So it's written exams, but still you can have a look at what we are expecting and you can start from that and work a little bit on that, even if they come from written examinations that used to take place before. Now let's talk about the tuition fees that students have to pay when they are admitted. You have to know that these tuition fees are revised every year by each school, and that can be subject to modification. I know for sure that the prices mentioned for Telecom Paris will be effective next year from September 2023, and they will probably not change in 2024 because they are changing this year. However, I'm not fully sure that the other prices are completely up to date, but there will be a few more hundreds euros at the worst for the worst scenario. But not more than that. So you can see that the prices are different from one school to another. But schools may provide scholarship for the best students or some tuition fees reduction or exemptions according to your situation. Grants, scholarship loans can be available based on excellence or social criteria. Most of the case, it's rather the excellence criteria which is used, and students have other scholarship programs available that we can either present them to or that they can apply for, like the French embassies have sometimes possibilities to get you some scholarship. Here you have an example of some alumni that we are very proud of. So it's probably no need to present Bernard Arnault, which is the CEO of LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. You probably have heard about this company. And Bernard Arnault graduated from École Polytechnique. Jérôme Guilhem graduated from ENSTA, and he was the former president of Tesla Automotive, and he worked very closely with Elon Musk. Charlotte Dennery, he is today the director and CEO of BNP Paribas Personal Finance, which is one of the biggest banks in France. Dia Iliakoubi graduated from Telecom Paris, and she was the former president of a big French IT company, Streamcore, and she had created her own company now. Éric Trappier graduated from Telecom Sud Paris, and he is the CEO of Dassault Aviation. And we have many more alumni that would be too long to show you today, but we graduated from Telecom. We have, for instance, Oscar Salazar, which was a former founder of Uber, or other alumni, very famous as well. So this is a picture of the campus, and you can see, for instance, on the left side, you can see a building which is like Salmon Square one. This is Telecom Paris, and completely opposite side, on the right side, you have ENSTA. So if you are walking from these two schools, it takes about, I would say, 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. It's, I think, 1.5 kilometers distance between the two schools. In the middle, next to the lake that you can see, you have École Polytechnique, and in between École Polytechnique and Telecom, you have ENSAI. Telecom Sud Paris is sharing some building with Telecom Paris. However, engineering program students are not located on this campus. They are in Évry, which is another town south of Paris. And I will just after that show you a quick video to show you a little bit more about the campus. So we are ideally located just outside of Paris. We are about 20 kilometers south of Paris. The campus can be reached by public transportation that allows students and faculty members to take advantage of the economic dynamism and rich cultural life of the French capital quite easily. Before the construction of this big campus, this was an agricultural area, and despite many constructions that have today emerged in the recent years, dormitories, schools, labs, companies, the area remains very green, with many part of forest. You can see it on this picture, where it's actually very nice to walk or to run if it's something that you like. So I will just stop my screen in order to show you the other video now. I'm sorry if you maybe could not hear the sound of the video. This is not so important. It was just music. And you can find these videos on the website of Institut Polytechnique de Paris. So I'm sorry, just stop that. And I will just show you the website in order to show you where you have to go if you want to find more information. So I am on the Institut Polytechnique de Paris website. You have to go on education. Well, on about section, you will find many information as well about the institute and about every schools as well. On education, you need to go on engineering programs. And then here you will find again many information that I presented today with the admission calendar. Again, the table I told you about. You on campus, you can see the video again or have more information about the campus itself and the infrastructures of the campus. You have an FAQ as well on this page that can be interesting for you to have a look at. And application. If you want to apply, you just click on that button and you will reach the application platform. So that's the end of my presentation. I will just put you the last page if you want to have contact details. So everything is mentioned again. I can send you the presentation after that, since I have your email addresses. I left intentionally my email address in case you want to reach me, but you can also write to engineer@ipparis.fr for more information. I could see that there was a few questions on the chat box, but feel free to ask them orally if you want to.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your presentation. I have a question regarding the master programs at École Polytechnique.
Yes.
What kind of master programs in engineering area they offer?
So here you're talking not about the engineering program, but of the master program. Is that
engineering programs, engineering programs.
Engineering programs. At École, we do not have many different engineering programs. The programs are a bit different according to one school to another. But there's only one program when you mention engineering program, there will not be many programs like a master. If you want to do a master, you will have many specializations, and you can choose the master you want according to your study area. But engineering programs have a multidisciplinary education, and you have to get through all the courses that are in the programs. Usually when reaching the second year of the program, you start specializing in options. And it is only during your third year that you will really specialize in one specific area, or maybe for École Polytechnique in your last and fourth year that you will specialize in one option. And for those options, you need to check on what is available at École Polytechnique. And then you will finish by an internship of 6 months.
So engineering is for bachelors, right?
Engineering starts after a bachelor level, or at least after 2 years of undergraduate studies. After 2 years, you can start applying. The level rather recommended is to, when you apply, is to be either to have already a bachelor or to be in your last year of bachelor. So that when you reach our level, you already have a bachelor degree. However, it can be fine to apply by having only 2 years of undergraduate studies, and you might be able to get admitted in one of the schools.
Okay, I see. So if I wish to study at master level, since I have already bachelor degree and I've done my master in some engineering area, but I want to study in other area of engineering area.
Then in that case, I would not recommend an engineering program for you. If you already have a master degree, I think the best is to try to see what master programs are available and to do one more year in another area that you want to, like a master 2, like the second year of a master program. I think in your situation, that would be the best.
So I should apply for master program, right?
Yes, that's what I will. If you already have a master degree, yes, that's what I would recommend, and especially by maybe focusing on a master 2 and not a master 1. Master 2 is the second year of the program. And you can do that if you already have a master degree. You can apply for a master 2, second year of a master program.
Okay, thank you.
On IP Paris website, you have this section on masters, and you can see what all the masters available.
Excuse me, can I ask something?
Yes, sure.
So I have a question, one question. If, for example, I'm a student in high school, could I apply to this program?
This is too early. You are currently in a high school program. You should wait at least 2 years.
Okay.
It's too early. You can try next year to apply, because when you reach when you will be about to enter one of the school, you will have done 2 years of undergraduate studies. However, students who manage to get admitted after only 2 years are quite rare. It's possible, you can apply. However, you need to be really good to be admitted. So again, the best is to be almost at the end of your bachelor program.
Oh, okay. Thanks for answer.
One more question regarding PhD. For example, in Sweden, for PhD students, they pay like a salary. How it is in France?
The same, I won't be able to tell you the amount, but the same happens as well for PhD students, and there's a salary, I think, which is paid as well, but I'm not fully sure of that, as I'm not an expert in PhD studies.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Laura, I will write this question, and I will try to come back to you on this specific question about PhDs.
Sorry, the question was about. Bonsoir Claude.
Oui, bon,
Euh,
bonjour Xavier. Allez-y, je vous en prie si vous avez la réponse.
Sur les frais d'inscription en doctorat?
No, are PhD students paid? Are they getting a salary?
Yeah, they can work, but after it depends if you have allocation de recherche or if you don't. But PhD student can work and can also teach. So I think it's not a big problem, but you know maybe better.
I will try to get as well some more precise information about that, Laura. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
And one more question regarding to these PhD programs. I see one interesting PhD program which is related to energy and environment. This is my major.
Okay.
It's written here that you should have degree from France or abroad. So any degree, master degree can be accepted, right?
When you're applying for a PhD, yes.
So you should
Every
have
country.
bachelor, master from any university of the world.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
There's no restriction
you.
on that.
May I ask? I wanted to know: is the oral exams for the Master 2 are the same as for Master 1?
What do you mean? Oh, the when you apply for a Master 1 or Master 2?
Yeah, when you directly go to the Master 2, so like before you have to go through the oral exam, right?
If you have already completed a 1 year of master in your country, then you can apply for a Master 2. If you have not, if you have only a bachelor degree, it's mandatory to at least apply for a Master 1. But here, let's make sure that you have understood this. We were talking about the engineering program. Now you're asking me questions about a master program. The application exam and the application process for master degrees is different. It will not be the same as what I presented just before, okay? Just to make sure that there's no confusion on this. The master degrees are also explained on the Institut Polytechnique de Paris website and the application process as well.
So the degree that you've presented was the undergraduate, yes?
No, I presented the engineering program, which is a master level program. Same level as a master, but not a master program, an engineering program based. The most important factor that you need to remember when talking about, when we talk, especially in France, about engineering, is that engineering programs have a multidisciplinary education, whether the master degree will really focus on a specific area and domain. An engineer, what we consider as a good engineer in France, is someone who can adapt to different environments and who masterize different skills. Technical skills, obviously, as well as other skills like soft skills, management skills, or humanities, things like that. And for us, this is what will enable a good engineer and leader in a company. Whether a master will really focus on a specific area. So if really you are into one area and you want really to become a real expert on a specific domain, yes, I will tell you it's better to do a master program. But if you want to have a broader range and a wider education that enables you to do different things, I will certainly advise an engineering diploma and an engineering program. So they are both are graduate programs, not undergraduate.
Thank you.
And one more question.
Yes.
So we know that France is one of the top countries when it comes to nuclear energy. More than 50% of the energy is derived from this nuclear energy. So in this, from this point of view, France is interesting for us because you know that in Kazakhstan we have uranium mines and we are planning to construct this nuclear energy plant. And the question is whether these universities organize some kind of trips to these nuclear energy plants, like practical study.
Probably that's something that happens. I would say that in this area, you have to focus rather on ENSTA school rather than the other schools. So I would advise you to have a look at ENSTA program to see what is mentioned. Then, I mean, why not? But I'm not fully sure of that. Do not hesitate to ask them directly if it's something that is sometimes planned. For sure, ENSTA has many partnerships with different universities and companies and industries, so that could be something that maybe they do. We also have very closely some research centers like CEA, which is a nuclear research institute located by car like 5 minutes from the campus, and all the schools are also working with these laboratories and these institutes located around. So there's programs, there's links between the laboratories, the research centers, the institutes, and the schools. So for sure, there are things that are done in this area, I think. Yeah.
Bonjour Claude, excusez-moi. Je vais me permettre d'ajouter quelques mots. My name is Bakhtiar. I'm from Kazakhstan, and I also did my master's degree in nuclear engineering. I studied in École des Mines de Nantes. Now it's called MT Atlantique. And regarding the question of Laour, I want to say that yes, French colleges and universities, they provide trips and visits to the laboratories, to the nuclear power plants, and to the CERN in Switzerland. That's where I had during my schools. And more than that, most of the French master's degrees, they require at the end of the semester to pass the stage de fin d'études. It's like 6 months intern in the companies and laboratories. I personally did myself in CEA Marcoule. It's a nuclear power plant in the south of France. So I think, yeah, I hope that IPP also provides such trips. And
thank you for sharing your experience. Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So it was at ENSTA or which?
No, I did in École des Mines de Nantes, but I know that all French universities do this practice. They practice visiting the tour guides to the power plants, to the factories. Of course, they need to be some supervision. They have some instructors to go with them, like groups, and without any taking the pictures, just only explaining some of the parts of the power plants. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bakhtiar, for testimony. Laura, if you need more detailed information, you can write to me. Okay, you send me your resume, and so we will be in contact, and I can help you to find a good master or something. Okay, so you just I think I can write my email on the chat, and so if you or anybody wants to get more information on grants from embassy or visa questions, so you can write to me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I already emailed my CV because I applied for this language program.
Great.
So you have my
Okay.
CV. Thank you.
Okay.
For sure, at Telecom Paris, we do organize some visits to companies during one day. And as Bakhtiar mentioned as well, there's always, but that's the case for every engineering schools, there's a 6-month mandatory internship. So opportunities like that happens, I guess. Yeah. I think there was a question on the chat. A junior developer was planning to pursue graduate studies next year. Scholarship for engineering programs that you've mentioned. There are some scholarships, some scholarships. It doesn't mean that you will necessarily, that all students will necessarily get a scholarship. The scholarship can be for the most excellent students, but there are some programs of scholarship. The only problem is that you will only be able to know for sure a few months before coming to France when the scholarship selection process is done. Aya, where are you from? Which country are you from? It was Aya who was asking a question.
It seems that she's from well.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Which country are you from?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
From Kazakhstan. So
yeah,
regarding scholarship, you can also contact Xavier Le Torrivelec, who's here today with us. So he will probably also be able to tell you a bit more about scholarship programs from the French.
Okay, thank you. I have a
question. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Agirim. I'm also from Kazakhstan. So I'm not engineer or so I'm interested in development studies program. Do you have this program in these institutes or no? Because as I understand, all these institutes, they offer technical degrees only or master's degrees. Do you have something on development studies or sustainability or CSR?
I will again share, hold on. I will again share this as apart from the domains that are mentioned here. You have, that will be the only domains that are seen and that those engineering schools are specializing in.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone was actually asking for chemistry. You can see that only École Polytechnique can provide engineer programs around chemistry.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask, what is the acceptance rate for the university?
What do you mean exactly by acceptance rate?
Like how many students that are applying to that have applied to the university are getting accepted?
We do not have a maximum number that could not be reached. I will not be able to tell you how many students are admitted every year in all the schools, but for instance, at Telecom Paris, we have about 100 students, international students admitted every year. which is quite large. We are the school with the biggest ratio of international students. So that might be a bit lower in the other schools, but there's no maximum number that can be reached. We aim at excellence, and we admit students if they are good. Students will be admitted. But yeah, that's the only thing that I can tell you. Yeah, about 100 international students every year at Telecom Paris. So a bit less than that probably in other schools.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Can you share, please, your contacts if there will be questions?
Yes,
Could we-
it was written on the presentation, and I will send you all the presentation afterwards, so you can have it, and you can have what we presented, and you have our contact details, mine, but also some other contact details from colleagues from IP Paris who can as well answer your questions.
Thank you.
And you can see that we work all together. I'm from the International Relation Department of Telecom Paris, but we work very closely with other schools. So in case we don't have answers, we can also put you through our colleagues from ENSTA or our colleagues from École Polytechnique or other schools if it's needed. All right, so I will stop the recording. Thank you very much for joining today.